Coming up on Valley News Live at 10, despite recent rain, city officials in Fargo consider a new course of action to deal with drought conditions.
How much some school districts are willing to pay to find bus drivers.
Plus, scammers targeting people investing in cryptocurrency. What to watch out for. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good Wednesday evening, everyone. Get the rain jacket ready. Some severe weather is moving in overnight.
Let's set ahead right now straight to meteorologist Nathan Hopper with the latest on what to expect. Nathan.
Yeah, thanks, Tom and Stacy. Yep, chance of severe storms for tomorrow, mainly in the southern valley, but still we have raised a first alert weather day for tomorrow because that potential for those strong 2 severe storms is indeed there. Now, some things we're watching at this hour are some light rain showers moving through our eastern North Dakota neighborhoods. We can see even a few rumbles of thunder there in portions of eastern North Dakota there in the Devil's Lake Basin, but not expecting too much in the way of impacts or accumulation from these as they wander their way through here in the latter hours of our Thursday evening. Now, here's what we're watching, of course, for that severe weather risk for tomorrow. That deep green you see there, that's that marginal risk of severe weather, level 1 out of 5 on the severe weather risk scale. You can see slight there is the yellow, that's level 2. Those are that area is down along the I-90 corridor in South Dakota. So it looks like the further south you go, that's where the warmer air is. That's where there's more instability. So that's where we're more likely to see that strong 2 severe storm potential. Large hail and gusty winds above 60 miles per hour are the main concerns for us in that deep green area. Localized flooding, though, is also possible because there is expected to be quite a lot of moisture making its way through with these storms. But for the rest of this evening in Fargo, again, could see a few raindrops here or there in the metro and tonight, and then tomorrow is when you can see things really do pick up in that rainfall chance there in Fargo-Moorhead. But of course, Tom and Stacy, coming up in a few minutes, we'll break this down hour by hour and get an early look ahead to the chance of some more severe storms for Saturday.
All right, thanks a lot, Nathan. Appreciate that. Well, make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Simply search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.
Drought conditions continue to be a big issue for our region. Fargo has now moved to the next level in drought warning, and if this dry trend continues, the city may have to take even more precautionary measures. Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor has our story.
Our average annual precipitation right now would be about 8 inches, and we're only at about 2.
Fargo city officials are having strong concerns as dry conditions continue in the area. The city has shifted to a phase 3 drought warning level. As a result, residents of the city of Fargo can only water their lawns 1 day a week to preserve resources. Data has shown there have been many changes in stream flows for both the Red and Cheyenne rivers.
There's a dramatic drop in flow down to as of August 17th, 81 CFS, which is right around the 10th percentile. I haven't seen that in my career with the city of Fargo.
Both the city of Fargo and Moorhead use the Red River as a water resource. The Otter Tail River is the main watershed that feeds the Red River, but the lack of rain has caused some of the Otter Tail River to dry up. And even with the recent rainfall, that could not reverse the drought conditions.
All the lakes are down, the groundwater that's connected is down, so really what the rain goes to, it fell in the right spot, but it's really going to replace that deficit versus turning into stream flows significant that we're going to see long term.
City officials say at this rate, there is consideration of pulling water from Lake Ashtabula, which would provide about 1 year's worth of water. In Fargo, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
The city of Fargo has a permit to allocate nearly 36,000 acre-feet of water from Lake Ashtabula. The Greenwood fire continues to grow and has now burned nearly 22,000 acres in northeastern Minnesota. Earlier today, around 2 p.m., cooler temperatures and cloud coverage were credited with helping slow the spread, but those conditions have changed. What was once a flat line of smoke visible from the Ely airport evolved into smoke plumes by 4 p.m. The fire has gotten so big, the National Weather Service sent in an incident meteorologist who's staying on site for weather support. Officials now say it's likely these fires will burn until we get our first big winter snow.
A major shakeup as school begins in Wahpeton. The building that houses pre-K and kindergarten is infested with mold. It's forcing kindergartners, typically in their own building, into the elementary school and fifth graders into the middle school building a year early. Wahpeton mom Abby Waite says she thinks the school district has taken the best approach to take care of the mold.
The transition seems to be going well. How they have it set up, it seems to be good. So I think this is the best response. I think, I'd rather them find it now instead of my kid being exposed to mold. So.
Now, with the first day of classes tomorrow, a separate entrance has been made for Zimmerman students, and officials say they're working to set up a schedule for those students as soon as possible. If you need help with a problem or concern in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to find resolution. New at 10 tonight, the pay for bus drivers has been a hot topic this week in some area school districts. In some cases, parents are expressing or experiencing stress, wondering if service for their children will be cut off because of a shortage of drivers. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling discovered what area school districts are paying first-time drivers, including one which pays $23 an hour.
The wages for bus drivers vary widely in North Dakota and Minnesota. The lowest rate we could find is Bismarck, paying $14.40 an hour. The highest rate, Crookston, where they're paying first-time drivers $23 an hour. Jeremy Olson explained why the drivers are worth every penny.
The reason that we pay what we do is because we need to honor that work. So we are trying to have a very competitive pay raise.
Bus drivers' pay came under the microscope last week after West Fargo Public Schools warned parents that drivers might not show up for the first day on Thursday. Under their pay, a first-time district-owned bus driver makes $15.56 an hour. Drivers tell us they've been trying to negotiate pay for years. The next day, Grand Forks warned that they too were cutting routes until the city stepped in to help. And the problem isn't unique to the Valley. Most school districts across the nation are experiencing a bus driver shortage.
What's tricky is getting additional bus drivers to go through the process. The state doesn't make things super easy from a standpoint of getting licensed. It is a pretty rigorous process. Now, I want to make sure that I emphasize it's not super rigorous, so it's not unattainable, but there are steps involved, and there should be steps involved. And we're hauling around children, and their safety has to be our first priority.
According to ZipRecruiter.com, North Dakota averages $15, while Minnesota averages $16 an hour. However, Olson says that pay isn't the only factor when it comes to drivers, sharing that it takes a special kind of person to be one.
I wouldn't want anyone to be a bus driver that wasn't passionate about kids and about and having that ability to work and relate with students, because that's not for everyone.
Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Now, earlier this week, West Fargo administrators said while they're comparing pay from around the region, they will not negotiate, and there will be no wage increases for drivers this year.
Fargo public school leaders say some students have fallen behind in math and reading. District officials say they're working on strategies to help those students excel. Part of that includes steps you can take at home. Leadership at a local tutoring center say when working with your children on school subjects, draw pictures because they may be visual learners. And when it comes to math, try using textiles or even money to help kids with counting.
With school and everything right now, it's almost kind of unstable, right? I think kids need much more support at home. They need that both at home and at school. So the parents' role is going to be very important during this time.
We have several more back-to-school tips on our website. Everything from packing the backpack to style trends to tips on getting involved. Head over to valleynewslive.com and click on North Dakota Today.
As debates over masks and vaccines mark the beginning of the school year, one Marshall, Minnesota family is opening up about their heartbreaking loss. They lost their child, a six-year-old girl named Weekday. She died from COVID-19 complications in April. That happened with barely a month left of first grade. At that time, she developed a fever, and this while attending Parkside Elementary, where they wore masks all year long. COVID precautions kept the family apart at the hospital.
If they son or daughter in the hospital, they need to let them with the parent. That's what they want to say about it.
Now, the Minnesota Department of Health says Day is one of 3 children under the age of 19 to lose their life to the virus.
One Sanford doctor is hoping to debunk misinformation of vaccines and infertility, saying there's no evidence that shows the COVID-19 shot or any other vaccine can be linked to infertility. 2 local women are trying to combat the rumors, both fully vaccinated earlier this year, now just weeks away from bringing new life into the world.
That's a huge comfort going forward, knowing that I'm potentially protecting my child in the future, whereas my older child can't have the vaccine yet and doesn't have those antibodies or anything.
Sanford Dr. Erica Argall says the unfounded infertility claim comes from a misunderstanding of the science, saying the protein in the COVID vaccines has similarities to a protein found in the placenta, but she says it's highly unlikely your body would mistake them for one another.
Scammers now targeting people investing in cryptocurrency. Still ahead, what to know to avoid getting ripped off.
And as we head into the first or second day of school for some folks, the big question, do you need the umbrella? It's going to be a hard yes for you. Some storms in the morning, some showers there at the bus stop on the way home. Of course, we'll break down the chance for some strong to severe storms on a first alert weather day after the break.